Yo, hello. Today I'll be making a small, hopefully concise tutorial on how to make your own and edit your own effects. We're not gonna go through everything, but we're gonna go through most of the important things you want to change. As I said, so this won't cover anything, and if you end up needing something else that isn't covered, you just message me. I'll try to keep this short and easy to understand. But before we start, you need to know this process can be annoying as fuck, and your game will crash lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of times. But shit, that's what goes into it. So let's go. I will be using, to show you the ropes, I will be using my effects because I think they're organized in the best possible way. And we're going to use Notepad++, but you can use any text editor you prefer. So in the beginning, one sec. In the beginning, you need to know that you have your TXD, as you can see, and you have your FXP where your desired effects are defined in. So let's start, for example, with the blood. There's different namings, and it took me a while to find them all, but I think I know the most important ones. So, for example, this is they have an extension called .fxs. It's not a physical file, but it's just defined in the notepad. It's like the FXP is like its own programming language, but don't worry, it's not that scary. So this is the FXS, and there's different ones. So for the blood, it's PRT underscore blood, and you can pretty much see. You shouldn't really play with these except for the length if you want your thing to last longer. Play mode is complicated, but I'd always keep it at 2. Okay, so let's take a look. So yes, I'd always keep it at 2. Uh, Except for the blood, there's also gun flesh. You can pretty much guess what it is. It's the gun muzzle, and it's defined as gunflesh.fxs. What else? Gun smoke fxs is the smoke that comes out after you shoot your gun. You have PRT sand, which is the sand particles you get after your bullet ending up in the ground. What else kind of sand? This one as well. You have gun. Fuck, I forgot. Oh yeah, gun shell. PRT underscore gun shell, which of course is the gun shells that come out after you shoot your gun. What else am I forgetting? Oh yes, PRT spark is the sparks that come out when you shoot your gun in the wall. Yeah. So let's start with the blood, for example. The thing with the main GTA in the code, it's programmed so that you really can't change the color of the blood unless you use another ASCII script, but I don't think you really need another blood that isn't red. So without mods, you can pretty much get bright red, dark red, or black blood if you're into that shit. As you can see, this is a blood texture with multiple textures, and you can define another one, but I'd keep it at max 4. I would honestly not play with changing the FXP that much in the beginning, as you also are gonna need to do some work through Photoshop as well. So let's start with the color first, I guess. To search for the color, You go here, type in color with a U, because Rockstar made this like that. Over there, UK, I guess. And I've set it to a certain amount. It's 160, but if I put the max you can go is 255. If you put this all to 0, your blood will end up black. But as I said again, you shouldn't play with the colors of the blood. It's limited anyway. If you want to have bright red blood, for example, you are going to have like super bright red. You're going to have to make your textures white through Photoshop. To do this, you'll open any blood texture you can and set the color overlay to full white or make it black and white and raise the exposure. To make it darker, you lower the brightness and just so the texture looks gray. Let's go and do something more fun, I guess. Let's play around with the muzzle a bit. So as we went through the tutorial in the beginning, it's called the gunflash.fxs. And to make it a bit easier, I'm going to be editing. We're going to be editing 2FXP at the same time, and let's do it with the default tutorial so we can compare our before and after. So again, gunflash.fxs. You shouldn't touch these. Play mode can be 0 and 2. Just never set it to 1 because it will look like bullshit in game. Try it and you'll see for yourself. So, as we can see, gunflash.fxs, the texture it's using is called sphere. And if you open up the TXD, default one, you'll see that the sphere is this fucking texture. The thing with the default FXP and TXD, it uses sphere for blood, for sparks, for gunflash, and loads of other things. Okay, so let's play around with the sphere for a bit. First of all, we can play around with the color. There's two color lines like this, so we'll edit both. 255, 255, 255, yeah, that's pretty much white. And it's the red values of the color itself. So if it's set to 255, it means it's set to white. Green is also 255. Let's just make it full white, because as you can see in the blue one, the value of the blue is 128. And if you combine all this is the alpha, this is like transparency. If it depends on the type of textures you're making, but I would always go with 255 unless you want a bit of transparency. So let's set all the colors to 255 and let's see what happens. With 128 as it was, it gives it like a yellowish orange filter. Let's set it to 255. And let's take a quick look how it looks in game, just with changing the colors a bit. Yeah, so if we come in game and after doing the edits we did, aka setting every color value to 255, it works like RGB value. So when all three, RGB, red, green, and blue are set to 255, that's the max value, it turns into white. So let's see if it worked. And it did. We also changed the transparency as well. As you can see, it's almost zero transparency because we put the max value on the alpha. So let's continue with hopefully more complicated stuff. Where were we? At the gun flash. So we changed the colors. Now let's go with size. You find the effect you want to edit. In this case is the gun flash, aka the gunflash.fxs. Search for size_data. Now, I know this may look more complicated as well, but you can also already kind of see the sizes. You can also use decimal numbers, of course, so let's start with 0.450, for example, for the x value, in this case, the horizontal value. Copy, paste on the already existing values. There's also size y, which is the vertical value, of course. So we pretty much lowered it by more than half. And let's go in game to see how it looks. As you can see, it's significantly smaller. Good job, we're making some progress, aren't we? Let's continue with something else. By the way, a pro tip when you're editing these, when you're editing anything concerning values, you make backup folders. So for example, when you have a working rendition of effects, you go to any other folder, create a new one, and copy them and mark them as working before you fuck something up, which can happen, of course. Happens to me. And so just so you have a backup of your last working change. So let's continue with something else. For example, I don't know, the blood. Let's edit the blood color value. As we already said, the blood value can only be, the blood color can only be bright red, normal red, or black. So let's just find the color value. I think it's already set to all to 55. Wait. Yeah, pretty much. Now, instead of changing the color, since it's already, I don't know, set to max color, why don't we go through replacing effects from one effect to the other. So let's do it from my effects to the default one. It's currently set to the default small shitty looking blood. So let's go to my effects and find, you guessed it, PRT underscore blood. Now, when copying shit from one effect to the other, you need to start from a file name, copy all of this, we scroll down, doing it slowly, but as time passes, you can start doing it like this, like a maniac. Selecting everything. As you can see, my blood is defined in 3 different textures, just 4 different actually. It can take a while. Fuck it, I'm just gonna speed up. Okay, you keep selecting until you find the next PRT boat, the next FXS, which is usually PRT underscore boat slash. And you select, as we said, from file name down until FX system data colon 109. Okay, so you copy. You need to be exact when copying this because even if you miss one space, it can crash your game and ultimately fuck up your effects. Okay, so we go to the default effects. We select, we select, we select, we select until we get to, again, the same effects as which is boat slash. So you select up until 109 from file name Let's go through it again just in case. Select from file name, scroll down up until FX system data 109 and you paste. As you can see, we didn't move anything, we didn't fuck up anything yet, of course. So let's see. So you've successfully copied one blood from one FXP to another, but we also need to move the effects which are in the TXD. And to find these, let's start from the beginning. You need these 4 textures for the beginning. You need to extract them, of course, from the more complicated TXD. I think I have them already somewhere. Yeah, I do. So let's copy. 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D in this case. And we just copy. These are the normal colors, so we're not playing around with blood colors right now. I already said what you can do with Photoshop. Let's scroll down to see if we have any others, which I think we do. Yes, we have blood kit site 4 now. 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D. We just copy. Now we have blood kit front. 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E. What else do we have? We have smoke kit. It's like the little bit of smoke that comes out after you hit someone. It's not in every effect, so don't be afraid. Smoke hit 1B. Smoke hit 1B. Smoke hit 2B. Smoke hit 3B. Smoke hit 4B. Oops. Oops, 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 oops. And we just copy. Let's go on to the next one. Smoke hit 1BZ. Why the fuck did I make this so complicated? I'm so sorry. Smoke hit 1BZ. Smoke hit 2BZ. Smoke hit 3BZ. Smoke hit 4BZ. Move on to the next one. Okay, luckily for you and me, that seems to be it for these for this blood. Let's test it in game. Okay, let's go. Don't worry, it won't look dark. The time cycle, by the way, mod affects sometimes, but rarely affects the brightness of everything. We didn't play with the colors, we didn't set them to be full on bright red, so it looks like this. But the main important thing is that it works. If you've made it this far successfully, congrats. You can consider yourself an effect maker. Let's move on to the next thing. Now that I think of it, it's not much else to go through. So let's just replace another effect for the sake of it. In this case, let's make it the gun shell effect. So remember, the current open FXP is the default one we started with. So it uses the default gun shell thingy. So let's transfer it from my effects to the default ones. Again, let's go gunshell.fxs, it's PRT underscore, my bad. You start copying with file name. Luckily it's short. Copy up until 109. You need to be careful. Again, we find the FX, the gunshell FXS here. Copy from file name up until 109. You save, and you see which texture it uses. In this case, it's named gunshell. So let's edit it a bit. I mean, let's find any gunshell really. Let's use this one. The default one already has a gunshell texture, so you just need to search for it, but be careful, of course. You replace, use the gunshell. By the way, for the textures here, just for it doesn't really matter, but just for the sake of compressing it just a bit, you use BGRA, and you always clear MIP levels when posting it. I mean, when adding it to the TXD. And you save. Let's check it in game. Seems to be working fine. Let's try another. Let's copy it, for example, from Fabulous Jack because it has the infamous slow gun shell. I just need to find the corresponding FXP. No, let's do it from my effects actually. I think this is the one. Yeah, that's it. Let's find gunshell.fxs from file name up until 109. File name 109. Paste, save, copy in game. Okay, let's see. And there we go. It works. Probably gonna cut this tutorial right here. I for sure forgot to show something, so you can always ask me to do it. And I will help you out. Thank you for watching, I guess. I hope you found it at least a bit helpful. See ya, and good luck, of course.